everyone, and welcome to Some Plus Cuisine. My name is Harper, if did not know, and today I'm going to be taste testing Costco's enchilada bake with their famous rotisserie chicken. So, more or less, as the title says, I'm going to taste test and of course review it. I'm going to see, number one, does it look good? Does it taste good? And is it worth your guys' money, time, patience, and all in all, just, willpower to make this dish, because it takes more than an hour to make. Plus driving to a Costco, which usually are far away from people's houses. In my experience, they are. And, having to drive all the way back. So, more or less, does it taste good? Does it look good? And is it worth the money? So, that's really all for today. So with that, let us begin. Okay, so I've just brought this out of the oven after around an hour or so of baking or cooking, whatever you call it. So let's see how it actually looks. It smells pretty nice, so I have some high hopes, but I'm going to just pull this off without getting burnt by the steam. Okay, there we go. And then slowly up, there we go. Ooh, it looks really nice. It kind of looks, what you would see. Ow, 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 burning hot. Ah, that hurt. Okay, sorry, tinfoil had a little bit of the molten cheese on it and I just burnt my finger with it. Ow! Okay, so more or less I can see it is very hot. It looks pretty nice, it looks what you would think an enchilada would look like, so not going to judge it from there, but it smells pretty good. It smells exactly like an enchilada, but that smell is pretty great. So I'm gonna let this cool off for quite a while and then we're gonna see how it tastes. Actually, first I'm going to grab a plate and just dish it up, and so it can cool off easier. So give it a second. Okay, so I'm going to just move this around so I can kind of get a nice cute shot with it. There we go. And then we're going to go from here, so I'm going to try to find where the enchilada ends. I think this is it. It probably feels like one little enchilada. There we go. Okay. I should probably look at the recipe before I say anything, but it looks like, of course, regular enchilada, red enchilada sauce, the rotisserie chicken. It has tomatoes, onions, spices, corn, black beans and pinto beans, and then a lot of cheese. So it pretty much amazing. So more or less, we have our beautiful plate here where I'm going to taste test, and I'm going to let this cool off because I can see it is very hot and I don't want to burn my tongue off because I like to have my senses of taste still. But more or less, I'm going to let this cool off and then we're going to see if it's actually worth it, and of course, does it taste good? I think it does, but you never know. So, yeah. Okay, so the enchilada has cooled down by a lot, thank goodness. Actually, not really, I can still feel it's really hot on the bottom, but more or less, we're gonna try it out because I'm really hungry, and yeah. But first, have a little bit of the filling, and then we'll have the cheese with the filling, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I've had a little bit of the enchiladas. Actually, I've had the whole plate that I had because it was that good. Now, number one, I'm from the Midwest, which means, yes, there is a lot of authentic Mexican food and, Mexican, American, twist food around, but when it comes to me saying, I've had authentic Mexican food, I know how it tastes, I have high standards for Mexican food, I would not be that kind of person. So this is coming from somebody who's just a very, very stereotypical, not stereotypical, but very, very basic American in the Midwest, Sebastian, who enjoys flavors and seasoning and whatnot, but is also used to Sebastian, you're being an ass. But is also used to bland food. So keep that in mind while I say that I really liked this meal. The enchilada sauce is really the only thing I can say is, it's enchilada sauce and it's very spicy, which goes really well with seasoning all the rest of the ingredients because there's not a lot of other seasoning with the rest of the ingredients. So the enchilada sauce is really doing all the heavy lifting to a point where it can get a little too spicy if you have baseline 0 when it comes to spice. Thankfully, the quite substantial layer of cheese helps mild out the seasoning if you don't like a lot of spice. And there's of course other seasoning, but the only seasoning I really taste is the enchilada sauce, which really is, its job, but that's another story. The chicken itself is a little bit dry, but that's what I expect from a pre-made meal. It's already been cooked, it's already been, kind of put in a refrigerator setting, and then it's been put in the oven for an hour, so that's not a surprise. There's like bell peppers on top, as you probably see. They're like half cooked. They're cooked enough that, they're not like raw, but they give a nice like kind of, different, kind of sweetness to it, which is really nice. The two types of beans and the onions and tomatoes, it's just like, a filler base with everything else. So as a whole, this is a nice version of enchiladas. If you're having this versus like authentic enchiladas, definitely have the authentic enchiladas. But if you want more of like, a Americanized enchilada dish, this is not that bad. I personally think that this is a solid 8 out of 10, meaning that there are issues with it. The chicken is dry and the sauce can be a little bit obnoxiously hot at times. Not like spicy, like I felt like it's a good, nice spiciness, but some people might just see it's a little bit too overwhelming when it comes to like just like how much spice there is, not like, it's very spicy, but it's just everywhere, which is its job. But again, I'm just trying to criticize this dish because I really like it. And of course, it is a very Americanized enchilada dish. So you're not getting that authentic flavor, but you're getting a pretty good flavor for what it is. And honestly, I got this for, I think, $16, $15, but I think it's like actually $17. It was on sale, so, pretty great. So is it worth $17? If you can make enchiladas, just like get a recipe and make it. I've actually made enchiladas before on this channel. I'll have a card around here, and that was really, really good. And I think it was like the same price, if not cheaper, maybe. I would do that. But if you want, a pre-made, just toss in the oven, baked meal, it does the job and I really enjoy it. But if you can like make this, I would make it. I would make an enchilada because there are issues with it, and I feel like if you made it fresh, those issues would go away. But with that being said, that is really all for today. So of course, if you like this video, click that like. If you want to see more from Watch, just subscribe. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I will say time, and as usual, goodbye.